Scorpio, welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot with me. My name is Carole. This is going to be a general reading for you for the month of December 2025. This is an incredibly powerful month for transformation for all of us, and especially if you've been paying attention to anything to do with astrology. And there is a full moon coming up in December 4th, and then on December 19th, there is both a new moon, and if you've been paying attention, there's a Comet 3i Atlas that will be the closest to the Earth during that time. If you haven't had a chance to find out anything about 3i Atlas, I would suggest you go online and find out what this is and what it's bringing to us. Also right before on the 19th, there is the December solstice on December 21st. So it's a real period of deep inner work where I know myself, I feel like I'm in a cocoon right now where I'm being asked to release things that are really no longer serving me. And as we're moving into this higher consciousness in our next year that's coming up, it really is a time where we are going to be stepping into something new for ourselves. But oftentimes before we can do that, there's a little bit of healing that needs to be done depending on what we're working on, and some releasing. So we're going to be in this reading, we're going to be looking at what you need to release that's no longer serving you right now. And then when we find out that, we're going to look at, okay, so what is it that is coming up for healing from me, from my shadow? Because we are presented with a situation that is, when we're healing, when we need to heal something, it's because it's coming up from our unconscious that whatever's happening to us now is triggering. We're being triggered by something, and it's triggering something from our childhood. And there's something that we need to heal in order for us to take this next step for ourselves, whatever that is. And then we're going to ask for some guidance from the tarot. So before I came on, I selected two oracle cards, and one was from the Return of Spirit, and the other one was from Secrets of the Ancestors Oracle. Now, this has been working out really well with me for my readings. So your card that you got, your first card was called Take Flight. Now, this is all about coming out of seclusion. And it looks like there's a butterfly coming out of a cocoon here. And they actually used the word cocoon when I was in the description of this card. It was telling me, Scorpio, that you've been really hiding or protecting yourself almost like from the outer world and not wanting, and oftentimes we can kind of play it safe and just, get caught up in our own little world and not want to deal with anybody outside. And, but this card is really saying it's time now for you to step out of this little protective cocoon that you've created for yourself for so long, because your soul is ready for you to shine. And maybe there's something that there's something you want to do, and sometimes like it's hard when we've been cocooning for so long and kind of creating this safe space around ourselves, and I can see how we are doing that because of what's going on in the world, and so we're just kind of living in our own little bubble. But now it's like, okay, there's something here on the horizon for you, and it's time for you to kind of break free. So that's what that card was. And then this next card took forever to come out, and it finally came out, and it's called The Twins, Conscious Connections. It came in reverse, so it came in its shadow. So this Twins card reminds us about all our connections, all our relationships. And it wants you to really have a good look at your relationships right now. Oftentimes we can be in our own little cocoons and feel like we're in a protective environment. But when we really start to become aware of who's around us, who are the people that we are spending most of our time with, it's time now that we need to look at these current relationships. Like, are they bringing more disharmony to me or imbalance? Are there a lot of, conflicts in these relationships? And this could be talking about all types of relationships, right? Your own family, your work relationships, your intimate partners, your friends. Let's take a look at who these people are around you in your own little bubble that you've been cocooning with, and they're asking you, let's check in with these close relationships you have and see, because it is in the shadow. So it's like, okay, maybe some of these relationships need to go, but it's just like, let's just look at this. And so I'm not going to say anything further, but those were your two cards that you got. And yeah, so interesting that they really fit well together for you. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to now look at, I'm going to take the Curious Travels deck, and I'm going to clarify it with a Radiant Rider-Waite. I'm going to look at what are you being asked to release, Scorpio, during this time, right? So one card for that. You have the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. Interesting card. Getting a little bit specific here for us. What's coming up for your shadow that needs healing? Four of Cups. Four of Cups. That was in a real sideways position, so we'll leave it sideways. What guidance does the tarot have for you in relation to this situation? The Ace of Swords in reverse. I had a picture of it in my head and I had to figure out what the words were that went with it. All right, so let's get a couple cards for this Eight of Pentacles. So this is more about what you're being asked to release. There's one, Four Cups again. So you have the Four of Cups, and then you have the Three of Wands right after it. Now let's look at the shadow. So what's coming up from your shadow? So can I have some more information about the Four of Cups? Those came out really nice for me. You had the Devil card and the Empress card. Two big energies here, major arcana energies in your shadow. Ace of Pentacles, sorry, Ace of Swords, couple cards for that. Another sword. Oh, that one wanted to come out as well. Okay. Oh, and you have two. Oh, you have three here. Oh, you have a story. All right, so you have Three of Swords, the Nine of Swords in reverse, the King of Swords, the Four of Swords, and then the Eight of Wands. That's your story, which is a lot. Normally don't pick all those. I didn't realize there was three that fell out. And that does not usually happen with this deck, and that's why I took it. This deck is really good at spitting out one card at a time. Sometimes maybe two, but not three. Okay, so what are you being asked to release right now? Scorpio, you have the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. I'm going to say, it's getting specific here, so I'm going to say this individual has been working. I mean, look at her face, first of all. You get a really good look at her face. She seems quite content. She's been doing this job for a long time, carving these pentacles. Yes, these pentacles. It's something that, she's always wanted to do. It's her passion. It's her passion. She loves it. See the candle there? it's something that she's like so passionate about. Like she'll get into this project, whatever she's doing, and she'll be up till all hours of the night. That's why she's got this, she burns the candle at night, right? So, but this is in reverse. So I think there's something here that it could be related to your job, because oftentimes this is related to your job. Then it's something that you're very, very passionate about. But I'm going to say that you always thought it was your passion. You always thought it was your purpose. And you've just, you know, for example, I was a teacher all my life. It's just what I did. And I did it for 30 years. And was it my passion? No. Was it my true purpose? No. Now I know that. I'm retired now. But at the time, I just did it. I just did it. And I did, you know, and it's kind of like something like that where I'm thinking, you're now realizing that this passion that you had, and let's say you're retired like I am, it might be something like you realize that whatever you did for all these years, what you committed most of your time to, it's not, you realize it wasn't meant to be your true purpose. And so that's where you're sitting right now. It could be, you know, that you're sitting in something, or you're realizing that, you know what, this wasn't my true purpose. It's not my passion anymore. It's weird. Years ago, I was just thinking today, because somebody gifted me a pair of these wool socks about a year ago, and I wear them all the time, like all the time. And now they have holes in them. And so I've been looking all over the place trying to find out where I can get another pair like them. And I've decided that I'm going to knit a pair for myself today. I have not knitted since I was, I'm going to say, over 40 years ago maybe I knit. I used to have all kinds of knitting needles, and I got rid of them all. So now I'm going to go out and buy some wool, and I'm going to knit myself a pair of socks, because I can't find any. I don't know how to do it, but I got a pattern online, and there's a video that goes with it, and I'm going to do it. And it's like so cool. I'm like, I'm going to do this. I'm not saying that's my purpose, but you know what? Like, it's just like, I don't know, it's something about passion. And so maybe there's something here that you're like, I think I want to do something else. Like, this is kind of exciting me. I never thought I would knit again in my life. And so, yeah, this is what this card is for you. And it's, you know, and it's interesting because your card says, you know, take flight, come out of your cocoon. So you've been in a cocoon, you know, with, you know, maybe you have this certain job you've done all your life, and all your colleagues are part of your friend group. That happens often. I know it happened with me. And yeah, so it's like now it's shaking up a bit, and you're starting to look at this and going, or maybe, you know, maybe you're starting to realize that this is changing for you. And Four of Cups comes here right after this card, this passion, where you're realizing, you know what, that maybe this, what committed to all my life is not what I want to do anymore. And then you have this this individual. See how his arms are crossed, and he's being offered like an Ace of Cups. And an Ace of Cups is a gift. It's a gift of emotions. It's a gift to feel again. It's a gift to go deeper into your feeling. And so you're being asked here, you know, how do you feel about this, Scorpio? How do you feel about, you know, what's stirring inside of you right now? But you're like, I don't want to deal with this. Like, are you crazy? I'm too old for this. You could think that. I can't do that now. I can't change this and go do something else. It's like you've been comfortable all your life doing this one thing that you've committed so much of your time to do. And you're being asked to, how do you feel about it? And it's like, you don't want to take that cup. It's like, I think you're scared. You're scared to take it because it's stirring up something inside of you, and you're like, oh, like maybe you haven't felt in so long passionate about something. And I think that's why I talked about the knitting. Like today I'm actually feeling this stirring inside me, and I'm getting excited about the fact that I'm going to knit again. I'm like, me knitting again? It's crazy. And this is why I'm telling this story. I'm not saying that's my true purpose, but it's just like, that's where I was today. And yeah, so what is it? There's something stirring. There's emotions that are stirring for you around this. Maybe you know what it is, but you're like, I don't want to look at that. And then you're seeing it. This Three of Wands talks about this individual that has this plan. He's seeing a ship come in. So you have a plan. There's something you want to do. And it's like, are you crazy? You're going to go do this now? You're hearing all these thoughts in your head, right? And so I think you're being asked to, I know what you're being asked. You're being asked to release what this passion, what this thing was you've committed so much to, and to go in this new direction. But there's some emotions around this. So let's look at what's coming up from your shadow that needs healing. Because this whole thing about you going, oh my God, I can't do this. Like, yeah. And one of the messages that came from this one about looking at your relationships, and it was in reverse here. One of the messages that I didn't read was, I am worth loving. And I deserve to be loved. So maybe that's for you. You know, there's something you're seeing here. And you're wanting to go. You have a plan to do something, to go. And I think don't feel like you deserve this, you know. Me putting myself first, I can't do that. I can't do that now. I know for myself, it's taken me so long because I've raised 3 kids, and to be on your own, I'm on my own, and to try to now, you know, realize that this is my life now. Like, can I do this for myself? And it's really hard because if you're still in a relationship with someone, or if you're still hanging around the same kind of people, right? And I think that's why you're being asked to look at people around you, and you know, sometimes people can hold you back. So let's take a look at your shadow, because here's the 4 of Cups, and that's fascinating because you had the 4 of Cups right at the top here. But when you were younger, here's the 4 of Cups again, you know. I often say, you know, this reminds me of this particular individual that's leaning back in his chair. I'm a retired teacher. So when kids lean back in their chair, my first reaction was I'd stop the lesson right away and go, whoa, sit on your chair. It was just this, I couldn't teach if that individual was leaning back on his chair, because I was like, they're going to fall. And so when you were younger, there's a part of you that was scared to feel. Because I think when you were younger, you very much were shut down. Your emotions were shut down when you were younger by people around you. And you got to a point where you realized that I didn't matter. My emotions didn't matter to people, right? And then, you know, because there's this cup that's coming here, and cups is all about your emotions. And so think of yourself as a young child, and you learned very young that your emotions didn't matter. You know, you weren't allowed to show your anger, you weren't allowed to cry, certain emotions you weren't allowed to show. And then when this offer comes in from the universe and says, okay, well, try it again. And it's like, no, No, I learned. So you learn this card speaks to me of, the danger of this individual falling off the chair. But this speaks to me of this danger that you felt when you were younger to feel again. And so you have all these emotions that are coming up around, that are stirring around you, going out and doing what you want to do, this plan you have. And it's really scary for you to get in touch with these emotions because maybe joy is another emotion. Imagine when you were younger and you had all this excitement about doing something, like knitting a pair of socks, and you were shut down. Like, who do you think you are? You can't knit that. You can't do that. Are you crazy? That's too expensive. And then you have the devil card here, and the devil talks about attachments, usually like addictions, and when it's not in the shadow. But in the shadow, I'm going to say that there were some almost like some attachment issues for you. I don't know if these emotions that you had when you were younger. This is very fascinating. I'm hearing something here because this is about attachment, not being able to attach on to people for support. You didn't get the support you needed when you were younger. Maybe your parents separated when you were younger. But for some reason, there's some real abandonment, attachment issues that are sitting right in the middle of this reading. And this card that came out, that needed to come out, and it took forever to come out, talks about one of the lines that I wrote here, and it says, you don't need to be in a relationship to be whole. And so I'm wondering here if part of the reason why you are afraid or scared to do this, whatever this is, to carry out this plan here, might mean that you have to go it alone. Maybe and it could be like like I said, you've surrounded yourself around these people that you've thought protected you all your life, that maybe you're starting to realize, well, you know what? These people were really supportive. I'm wanting to do this, and they're not wanting me to. Oftentimes when we want to change, when we get this great idea and something we want to do, especially, I'm just going to take the example that, you're thinking about leaving this job, for example, and people that you've been friends with, all your social group was all, around this job you had, and now you're wanting to step out of this situation. Well, that makes a lot of people, it threatens a lot of people around you. They get intimidated, they get scared, they're feeling a shift, and they were in a cocoon too, and now you're planning on stepping out of this cocoon. You're being asked to step out of this social group that you've been in all along, this group of people you've been with, maybe this partner you've been with, and it's scary for you. And it's scary for them. And that's when you realize, you look at these people and you think, okay, well, who's being supportive and who's not being supportive? And so when you were younger, for you to feel these emotions around what it is that you want to do, you're feeling a lot of insecurity around it because when you were younger, you didn't have the capabilities to be able to feel those emotions that you felt when you were abandoned, when you were not supported, when you were younger. And so maybe you're feeling like you're abandoning these people. That could be coming up, right? It's like, oh, I'm abandoning them if I do this. And so all these feelings of guilt would come in. And that's coming from childhood. So whatever you're feeling, whatever these emotions you're feeling around this thing that you want to do for you, that's coming from when you were younger and what happened to you And it's all coming up for you to heal right now. And the last card that's in your shadow after the Devil card, this attachment, this abandonment thing, is the Empress card. And the Empress card is all about emotions. She's the beautiful feminine side to us, besides number 2 in the major arcana, which is the High Priestess. She represents our intuition. The Empress lives in her body. She lives from her emotions, right? Emotions are supposed to come in and then they flow out. But when you were younger, you weren't allowed to. These emotions got stuck, right? They got stuck in your body when you were younger because they're in your shadow. You weren't allowed. Your emotions didn't free, especially around this attachment, this abandonment issue you had when you were younger. You have a lot of emotions that are here. And so I'm wondering, like I said, if you're feeling like you're going to feel alone again if you do this step for yourself, or you're feeling guilty that you're leaving these people, the abandonment thing. Like, we can project our own feelings of abandonment on other people, other situations. And again, it's a general reading, so you're gonna, take this as it is with you. So, and then what advice, what guidance does the tarot have for you in this situation? This is where you have a big story here. So, I mean, you have an Ace of Swords. This is a powerful card for you, and it's in reverse, but because I think there's a lot of fear here, big resistance to it. But this sword, look at this beautiful sword. I want you to take a look at this sword. Has a crown on the top. It's like you taking your sword and you're going to go on into the world, because that's what the universe wants you to do here. I want you to take this sword, and I want you to cut through, first of all, that cocoon that you've put around yourself. And then you're going to go out and you're going to find out, you're going to take it, and you're going to take it and it's going to go towards your authenticity, your true self. Because this sword is all about authenticity. The sword by itself, the Ace of Swords, talks about your truth, who you are. I call it the sword that's going to cut through all the bullshit. And it's the sword that's going to cut through all the bullshit of all the people around you. Who are these people that you've thought have been protecting you all your life, but right now could be pulling you down because you want to do this for yourself? This is the sword that's going to take, you're going to take and you're going to cut through all the bullshit. That's the sword you're going to take on your flight, right? That flight when you come out of seclusion, you're going to use this sword, and you're going to say, here, this is me. I'm going towards my authentic self. Like, all you people can stay where you are, but I'm going this way. And after that, you have the Three of Swords, which is a card of pain. There's going to be a lot of pain surrounding this. It's not an easy decision. There's a lot of grieving that needs to take place. That's what this card says. There's a lot of pain that's going to come up, because there's a lot of grieving that you needed to do when you were younger around this attachment, around this abandonment. And that's what you need to get to. You need to get to that pain of what you felt when you were younger, right? You're not healing the situation right now that you're in. You're healing the situation you were in when you were younger. Next card comes out is the Nine of Swords here. And this is in reverse, but there's some memories around this as well, right? Right now, you're blocking them, but you're going to find that there's going to be some memories that are coming up. This is my memory card. This is when you in the middle of the night, you're waking up because you can't go back to sleep. Oftentimes our ego self will, because we can get a lot of information in our dreams, but there's some memories that are around this that are going to probably come up for you around the attachment issue, the abandonment issue. Sometimes we don't even know what they are, but your emotions are always going to usually come first. You're going to start to feel first, and then you're going to get some memories around this. You're also going to get your ego self. He has his own sword here. Ego self is the one that likes to keep us up in our head. It wants to keep you up here because it doesn't want you to feel. It's going to say, this authenticity, this sword right here that you're going to use, that's a bunch of bullshit. You know, it doesn't like authenticity. It wants status quo. It wants, your ego self wants to keep you here because our ego self is a real protective part. And it protected us when we were younger. But you know what? You're an adult now. And your adult self is going to kick in here and go, you know what? No, I want this for me. My ego self is going to say, no, you're safe where you are. Status quo. Don't leave your job. Don't do what you want to do. Don't go in that direction you want to go. It just is petrified. It's like, don't do that, because it only remembers what happened to you when you were younger and when you were abandoned. And that's all it remembers. It doesn't know what's going on with you now. And so it always remembers what happened when you were younger. So we often have to remind the ego self, it's like, no, that I'm in charge here. And the last two cards come here, and you have the Four of Swords, and then you have the Eight of Wands. The Four of Swords says, you know, you're going to find that it's a time now for you to really take some time, stillness, to take time out for yourself. This period in in December, when you are needing it mostly because of this new direction you're going into, when you're starting to take flight, when all these emotions come out, you're going to notice that it takes a lot of energy out of you. But you need to carve out some stillness for yourself so you can really feel all of these emotions that are coming out now. Because remember, you've had this Four of Cups position here twice where it's like, I don't want to feel this. I don't want to. And your ego self doesn't want you to feel it at all. It's a very petrified part, your ego self. It's scared of emotions. And in particular, it's petrified of grief. And we have to grieve so much of what we lost when we were younger. And then the Eight of Wands card. Notice how this card has, it's the one card, I think it's the only card in the Rider-Waite deck where it doesn't have a person in here. It's like these magical, creative Eight of Wands, this energy, right? It's like once you make a commitment to taking your sword and cut through all the bullshit and the people in your life and figure out, you know, take a real hard look at some of these people in your life. Feel these emotions around it. Work your way through the memory around this attachment, this abandonment issue that's coming up right now. And then these Eight Wands right here are going to come for you. And it's going to help you go towards what it is you wanted to do. Right? That plan that you have for yourself. What a beautiful way to end that. You know, having those eight wands to pull you in that direction. So, amazing reading for you, Scorpio. I want you to have compassion for yourself for what you're working through right now. This is a very difficult journey, but it's the most important journey of your life. So, take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.